Good evening and welcome to Thai PBS World Tonight. From Wednesday, the Thai Parliament will have debate on royal decrees for 5 consecutive days on COVID-19 relief and economic packages. What will be the implication on this debate? And we have asked Kun Thirachai Phuvanat Nararupan, former finance minister. What do you look forward to this week, in particular, in the debate on the royal decrees?
So I think we can look forward, to a lot more substance to be debated, and that's good for Thai politics. I do not subscribe, to one of the decrees, particularly the one that allow the Bank of Thailand to go and intervene in the corporate debt paper. That I don't agree with.
And you don't have issues with the 2 other decrees?
The other 2, I think, less so. Perhaps more of a concern. Particularly the first decree, that allows the government to borrow the portion that is not for immediate compensation, the 400 billion for future investment. I think it is necessary for the society to keep a close track, to make sure that, according to economic principle, as long as you can, spend the money and make sure that the economy grows at a rate higher than the cost of borrowing, then you'll be all right. But if it's below, then you're on a downward escalator. So we have to make sure that the money is spent wisely, and also, without anything under the table.
So back to the decree that you don't subscribe to. You were with the Bank of Thailand before, right?
I was.
I thought you would have agreed to the bank playing a prominent role in this scenario. So why were you so against? Were you not happy with this decree, the one that authorizing Bank of Thailand to help with the liquidity in the market, right?
Well, it goes beyond the natural role of the central bank, as I understand it. They copy the role being played by central banks in the developed countries. But you have to take into account that these are rich, developed countries, and this is not something that we should always try to copy. The important thing is that according to the existing, the main law of the Bank of Thailand, the bank already has the power to lend to financial institutions as much as they want, in order to take care of the liquidity of the market.
Even without this new decree?
Yes, even without this. But to issue a decree, it makes for the government to underwrite a potential loss for the Bank of Thailand to go into this venture up to 40 billion, which I think that is unfair to the taxpayers.
Yeah.
And what about Thai Airways? With restructuring plan and to go through the law of bankruptcy, do you agree that this is the right track for Thai Airways?
I think it is the only track available. The only track available to the Thai Airways. After the open sky policy, with the introduction of budget airlines, found it difficult, to compete. Yeah. They just didn't have the competitive edge that they used to have. So any mishap, any misinvestment, whether picking the wrong route or any problem related to corruption, whether within or outside, would cause them to suffer. And then COVID was the final straw. So there is no other option other than to put them into restructuring.
But now the national flag carrier is no longer a state enterprise after the finance ministry decided to dilute its stake in the carrier. Is that good or bad news ahead of the rehabilitation?
Well, it is necessary because once you put the company into the process, into the court process, you have to allow the court, to take over, and the process has to be done in laying off staff according to the commercial law, without the protection of the state agency.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, I think it's a little bit odd, for the government to transfer 3% shares. Instead of selling it to the public openly, they sold it to
Why
Pak One. I think unnecessary. I really can't think of why. But this is going to cause the creditors to raise questions and to.
In what sense? Because when you Pak One fund is supposed to be a juristic entity, right? So it's not related to the government as much as a state agency.
I agree, but in reality, people still think that the government has some kind of influence over what you Pak One. But not only that, instead of selling it through, instead of suspending, the sales of shares in the stock exchange, when they are going to submit the plan to the cabinet. Which could be either way, right? Yeah. The best thing is just to suspend the trading of shares. They didn't do that, and the shares in April up until May went from 3 baht something into 6 baht something. It hit ceiling 8 times.
Right.
Pretty odd. And not only that, once they decided, for UPAC to buy the shares, they say, well, the price to be agreed upon would be 7 days trading before the decision date. So that raised suspicion. Well, at least in my opinion, at least on the date of submitting the proposal to the cabinet, the people in the Ministry of Finance already knew the option they would present to the cabinet would be for court process. Right? They should have asked for suspension, but they didn't. Yeah. Even after that, even today. And in the process, in the court of law, decisions have to be voted upon by creditors. And the only way to be successful is to win trust of everybody. And how can you win trust of the creditors, if you are not open with your hands?
And what do you expect to see in terms of detail of the rehabilitation of Thai Airways to try to convince that it's on the right track in order to save Thai Airways?
Well, that will be up to the administrator, to craft, put together a plan and then present it to the court, right? But basically, they will just ask the creditors, how much haircut can you get? Can you give? And then they'll have to decide whether to inflict pain on the staff, pain on the shareholders, and then once they have that, everybody agrees, then they put it to the court.
So that would be quite painful period of Thai Airways.
Very painful, and the idea, is to spread out the pain. So that it doesn't lie with any particular party unnecessarily.
And that's all from Thai PBS World tonight. Thank you very much for watching.